you come my way?
R&B is your favorite.
It's a hell of R&B is a hell of a drug.
Yeah, bro. That joint put you in the mood.
Hey,
Let me ask you, and this is a bit personal.
chill out.
like as you're married.
Alhamdulillah.
All right, alhamdulillah. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. Big bless, right? Do you still have to woo your wife the same way you had to like at the very beginning as you do now?
Yeah, certain ways, yes and no. There's certain times where just like, look, fam, you ain't gotta do all that.
You know what it is.
You know what it is.
It's halal now.
That's one way, but another way is just like you gotta get people in the mood. You know what I'm saying? That's when that spontaneity kicks in. That's when that cleverness kicks in. That's where creativity kicks in, because you gotta keep it fresh. You just can't keep it boring. And if you keep it boring, just like any other relationship, you feel me?
You sound like Jamie Foxx. We get unpredictable. Baby, 1 + 1 make 2 when you and me.
And I think that like hinders other relationships because people get comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It's like having a job. You know what I mean? You can't get too comfortable in that job. You gotta still produce, or guess what's gonna happen? You gonna get cut, or your salary gonna be reduced.
Wife's gonna be like, you are not keeping up to your to the expectations you put up at first.
At all. But going back to R&B, one thing about R&B is that it never lets me down.
All right, cool. Let's get into the
Let's
episode,
get to it, baby. Don't let me down on this episode.
Bro, I will. I promise
get it, baby.
Y'all got a thriller coming.
Count it down. 3, or 2, or 1.
What's going on, everybody? This is Jabril Salam.
And Muhammad Hassan.
And you are listening to the Young and Muslim Podcast.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Welcome back to another fire episode of the Young and Muslim Podcast. Y'all already know what it is.
Yes, Young Brillo coming out here. We ready to pod, baby. It's a party today. It's a party. It's a party.
So today we're going to talk about our homies. Today we're going to talk about our family members. We're going to talk about relationships, how to navigate them, how to say no, and the biggest thing, how to hold yourself accountable as well as others.
How to make sure your circle is being accountable, and how it looks like if you may possibly be hated in your circle of friends.
So what's the difference between accountability, Jabril, and hating?
Dang, you want to start off the deep end.
Straight into it. You talk. Come on, what's the difference, family?
I think accountability within, and I'll come at it from the aspect of being a man, right? Like as men, a lot of times we aren't accountable within our relationships because as friends or as brothers, we'll say, "Oh, you're a grown man. You're on your own." That's right, baby. Yo, these flies are getting risky, bro. What the heck? I think as a man, oftentimes we will say, like, if our friend is messing up, or like if we're not happy with someone's decision, or if they wrong us, we're like, well, you're a grown man, you'll figure it out. Like, I shouldn't have to tell you or remind you, you're a grown man.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that you relinquish your responsibility as a brother when you say that, because as brothers, you know, I am my brother's keeper, the reminder benefits the believer, that sort of deal. It's like you have to put your friends in the right mind. You got to put your friends in check sometimes to say, like, yo, fam, like, that's not right, or fam, you need to chill out, or fam, you're doing a lot. You're moving in a destructive way. And so when I look at accountability, I think accountability within a relationship, a friendship, a brotherhood, sisterhood, means that sometimes you have to say the things that someone doesn't like, but you know deep down that you're not doing it out of jealousy, you're doing it out of straight up love. I think hating is when you put someone down and you discourage them from something. So like you call them out on something when it's not necessarily warranted. So it isn't. There's no end goal with it. You're really just doing it to discourage them from doing something that maybe they like to do and they might not be good at, or maybe something they're good at, you just don't want them to thrive. But holding someone accountable and you being responsible to your friends is a completely different story, because as a friend, as a brother, and I'm not talking about, you know, the cliche like, yo, we're brothers in Islam or sisters in Islam. I'm talking about like people that you like really genuinely care about and know. It's like, yo, fam, like, do better, bro, because you messing up, and you're gonna F up your life if you keep moving the way you're moving, and you're gonna F up our friendship if you keep moving the way you're moving. So yeah, what
I like that because it goes back to the intent, right? What is my whole reason here, right? Is it to help this person? Is it to bring them down? But what comes to mind is that if you're telling me the truth about myself and you're trying to help me, why does it hurt? Why does it suck? Why do we not like that?
Bro, people aren't self-aware. So if you're telling me a truth about myself, right? But I don't know that that's an evident truth about myself, I'm going to take it as one, either you're hating or you don't want me to be happy. And the truth is uncomfortable sometimes. Like, if you're like, bro, you're a horrible friend. You're like, nah, you just saying that because you like, but the truth is objective sometimes. If you come to me and say, yo, bro, like, you real disrespectful, and I'm like, I'm not. Well, I can't say that I'm not, because for some reason, in your perspective, you're saying that I'm disrespectful. So I gotta look back and go, okay, why are you saying that? How did I do that? And then we had to come to an understanding. There's this story that I love. I read this book when I was on hiatus for a while, right? It's called Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. Amazing book. And there's this point in there where these two Nigerian guys or Ghanaian guys, or I can't remember where they're from, but the two African guys are arguing over this woman who is a prostitute. And one of them saying like she can make her own decision. The other one saying that like, no, she's a Muslim, like she shouldn't be doing this sort of thing, yada yada yada. So they're going back and forth, and then Matthew McConaughey is like, well, I agree with this guy, like she shouldn't be doing that. And the guy stops and starts busting him out. And he's like, yo, like I thought I was on your side. I was saying you were right. He said it's not about who's right. We're not saying who's right. It's do you understand? And the only way you can understand somebody is if the two people engaged have a level of self-awareness of themselves and the other person, where they can say, yo, get where I'm coming from. It's not personal. This is where I come from. That's where you come from. And as long as we have the understanding, we're good.
And you also have, in order to understand somebody, you have to be willing to listen.
Yeah.
So if I'm not willing to listen to you, because I've done it, I'm not perfect. Somebody could be telling me the truth, and I act like I'm listening to them, but I'm really not. I'm just like, yeah, whatever you say. You can tell when somebody's actually absorbing the information, opening up, or they're just closing you off. At that point, you're literally just talking to a wall.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
But they may be upset, but a few words you said may stick with them. That's what I've seen. Whether people decide to take action or not, every time somebody's telling them something about themselves, something does stick with them. You feel me? But the only problem is that the information that stuck with them, are they willing to take action on it? That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
They may not take action today. They may change tomorrow. They may change it in a year. But we all know, for the most part, what we should be doing.
But when is enough, right? Let's say you have a friend that...
Talking about like how many chances, man?
Yeah. I guess you can say how many chances, right? When is it enough? When you are continuously telling somebody like, bro, like you need to be better at this, or you need to stop doing this because you're hurting yourself.
So I'll tell you a story about Pete Carroll. Everybody knows who Pete Carroll is. He is one of the top. He was one of the top football coaches for the NCAA. Now he is the coach for the Seattle Seahawks.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he was also the coach for USC. They asked him, he said, if a player needs help, do you give him a bone? Do you give him a first chance? Do you give him a chance? He's like, yes. He said, okay. Do you give him a second chance? Yes. Do you give him a third chance? Yes. Do you give him a fourth chance? Do you give him a fifth chance? He said, no. He said, there's only so many times where I can give them a lifeboat or help, but it comes to the point where I just have to let them drown. Right? And the guy asked him, don't you think that's kind of cruel? Well, he has 6 chances. Right? And I was willing to be there for him and give them my all. But after so many chances, not only do I lose respect for them, they lose respect for themselves. So he's like, if you want to get to that top level, That's just how it works. Plus, the only person that's gonna keep giving you chances over and over like that is God. That's it.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Your
Like,
mama going to run out of patience.
right. That's just how human beings. That's how we are in nature. So yes, there is a point. There is a boundary. So if anybody's listening and you have friends or family, anybody that you give them 1,000 chances, don't feel bad if you tell them no. Right? Don't feel bad if you tell them like, yo, I can't help you. And that's what you used to tell me, bro. Like, you can't help everybody. You can't save everybody. Because if you try to save somebody that's drowning, they're going to drown you.
They're going to pull you down with them.
Pull you down, and they're not going to feel bad about it whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think that, we have a situation within a couple of our friend groups where it's like people want to act like everything is okay. Mm-hmm. And when you try and hit them to the reality of a situation, they're like, nah, like they don't take responsibility for their own actions, but they try to make it seem like everyone else is the problem, not themselves. Mm-hmm. And that becomes an issue because when you are grown, you are responsible for your actions. And when you don't take accountability for those things and you push them off on other people, that plants a seed of resentment. But sometimes resentment can be a good thing. As Jordan Peterson says, resentment can be very useful because resentment can make you want to make the real changes. So for me, right, if I have resentment towards this person, well, I'm like, well, I need better friends. If I'm not going to be in a friend group, and we talk about inner circle all the time, if I'm not in the inner circle where the people that I'm around and I consider friends, people that I want to engage with, if they're not willing to hold themselves accountable, when are they going to hold me accountable to grow and level up? So that what that means is that I'm friends with you, but we're always going to stay in this plateau of where our friendship was, where it was, and then it is, and it just stays at this state of it is. It's never going to elevate or grow. And I'm the type of person, and I feel like most people want to be this type of person where you want to grow. You want to have the ideal life that you've pictured for yourself. But a lot of us are stuck because we have friendships that don't, they sound selfish, but they don't serve us. And what I mean by they don't serve us, I mean that they don't serve us in trying to get to what we want out of life and for a betterment for ourselves. Not out of a selfish like, oh, I can't get this rollie because my friends, like he's cheap and he doesn't, like, not like that, but it's like, yo, if your friends aren't pushing you to be better, if your friends, bro, if you're with a friend, right, let's say we're together, right, and this is not true, just using him as an example because he's, there's only two of us in the room. So let's say we're out, right, and I see you doing some wild stuff, like you basically like cheating on your girl. Mm-hmm. If I don't say something to you, I'm just as guilty and accountable.
You a cheater too.
Yeah, but I never understood that when I was younger because I was like, yo, like, how you gonna be mad at me? But I didn't do anything. He did it. Yeah. It's like if we're boys, and I see you doing something crazy, like you wilding, and if we're really brothers, I'm like, yo, I see you having fun, you doing your thing, but fam, you got a wife, you got a girlfriend, like. You can't, like, what you doing, fam?
Bro, if you don't got the courage to stop him, how you gonna stop yourself?
Maybe yes and no, but because some people, well, I don't know. Some people think, like what I was saying before, well, you're a grown man, I shouldn't have to tell you to stop. You're responsible. That's your actions, yours. But it's like, bro, you said this before. Everyone needs help, bro. Yeah. We're all human. We're all gonna mess up. We need accountability partners. We need buddies. We need the buddy system. We talk about the buddy system. If you're a long-term listener,
oh yeah, you already know that.
If you're a long-term listener, you guys know how we made it through college, through the buddy system. Like the fact that we still Muslim is a surprise to some people.
Allahu Akbar.
So it's like if you don't have a friend group that is encouraging you to, it's not even about Islam at this point. It's like, bro, to not just be a crappy person, and to be a decent person. And if you don't have friends that want you to encourage them to do that, it's like, man, is that really the friend group that you want to be investing time?
Probably not.
Mental energy, emotional energy into?
Probably not. You know? And the way that if you're probably thinking about, okay, how should I evaluate my friend group? Here's a place to start. All right. We are the star of our own movie, and there's 4 different positions that we play, right? 4 different characters. I was talking to Jabril about this not too long ago. The first character we play, and it's not any particular order, is we are seen as the superhero, right? We're the superhero in our own story. We follow our dreams. We serve ourselves. We serve our community. We're here to help. The second is a guide. A guide is an individual that is a winner and wants somebody else to win. Third is a victim, where you always shape your life as everything is somebody else's fault. Everything is happening to you. You're not doing anything. Your life just sucks, right? And the last thing is the villain. Those individuals that have a plan, but it might be based off of revenge, anger, because hurt people hurt people. So when you look at your friends, say, okay, just say, friend A, is it usually a winner? Is he usually a guide? Is he usually a villain, or is he a victim? And we can switch in between those roles. If you just look at your friend group and you have somebody that's always the victim, like more times than not, that's a problem. I think you should really think about it, because those are the individuals that just get on the phone with you and just complain. I remember one time I was driving down the highway and I saw this one black kid, right? He went off on his friend. He said, "Yo, homie, look, not today, fam. Not today. You always call me off that bullshit. You always now." He said, "I'm not listening to that today. You gonna handle your own shit. You go over and take care of that, because I'm not gonna listen to one more word, because it's the same shit every single day." Bro, so either you come with something else, or you go talk to someone. I'm not dealing with this anymore.
I used to have a friend. Well, we kind of still we're cool. But dude only calls me if I see him call. I know that he's calling me about some girl stuff. It's always about someone, and at some point, it's just like, dog, it's the same bullshit every time you call. I love you, but figure out your life, bro. You can't have how in the world you got the same problems now as you did 5 years ago? You call me about the same dumb bullshit.
Yes.
Like, bro, it really irks me, man, because those are the friends where it's like, you gotta call them on that bull. You gotta call them out on it, because it's like, bro, like, if you're still complaining about the same stuff, you got the same job. You like, man, I want a better this, a better. It's like, bro, if you're not acting on it by now, I'm the wrong person to talk. Look, everyone that knows me knows I'm the wrong person to talk to with stuff like that, because I'm gonna call you out on your stuff, and then you're not gonna like me. And Mo and I, we were talking about this before we start recording. One thing he used to always say to me is like people don't like you because you're gonna give it to them straight. And it took me a while, even within myself, to be comfortable with that, because that isn't easy. It's like I was taught, like, bro, be straight up. Like, don't beat around the bush. Like, tell people what's the truth. Speak truth no matter who is for or against. Speak truth, period. Even if it's against your own self, right? Like, that's something that I grew up in. And seeing friends try and pass off the same BS time and time again, and then you find, like, bro, like this friend in particular, I'm like, dog, you need to stop dating women. Just leave them alone. Like focus on your life. Leave them alone. Because if you call me again, I stop picking up.
So what's the fine line between lending an ear and actually letting this enabling, like, letting it happen? Is there a fine line? Is it blurry there?
You gotta say cut? It. Bro, you gotta be straight up. Because at some point you gotta be like, bro, like, you can't be. Why are you doing this? Why? Because like, if you just want me to sit here and listen to you because you want a yes man, then I'm not your guy.
A victim mentality.
Yeah, you want a victim. You want me to sit here and baby you because you're like, you want to just talk about, like, it's one thing if you're like you and I will have conversations, right? Like, I'll be like, yo, I'm talking to this girl, I'm dating this girl, what have you. I'm like, yo, like, this happened, like, I need some advice, right? That's one thing, and it might be ongoing because the situation is different. Yes. But every time I'm like, oh, wow, I really like this girl, but, like, you know, like, I just feel like that. And then it's a new one in the month, a new one. It's like, eventually you're gonna be like, yo, fam, it's like, you're not gonna pick up. Or if it's the friend that always needs something, always in a bad position. Those are the worst, bro.
Well, what do we call those? That's not a victim. That's
leeches,
not a
bro.
What are those?
You sucking my energy,
man. I've been running into a lot of those, man.
Mo been running the leech farm.
And then when you don't do something for them, they get mad at you, just like, man, for real, dog.
Bruh.
I've been here for you, bro. Okay, so now that we're on the topic, how do people manage relationships that came from the sandbox? your friends from the mud.
Oh, yeah,
I feel like
tough.
those friends almost have like some sort of entitlement on your life because you feel like they don't have to work to be in your lives. I'll be honest with you.
Like it's like
my
automatic
friends,
thing.
my friends have to work to be in my life. What I mean by that is that I gotta work to come and see your family, bro. I gotta work to make sure that if you want to go on a trip, that I come with you, that you get to know my wife, that we actually are keeping up with each other's lives. Like that takes work. If you're not keeping up with me, you're not calling me. You just kind of there in the shadow.
We're not really friends. We're just associates.
Why do I need you as a partner?
Yeah.
You follow me?
Friendship is a verb, bro.
It's a verb.
It's a verb.
I don't know. I
Just like
really
love.
could have
Yeah,
just done
because
that.
it has. Well, you said it best earlier. You're like, dog. You're like, if, and you know, talking about your wife, you're like, yo, like I gotta still put in work. Like I can't just like.
Friendships are lagging. If people aren't putting the work anymore, friendships, bro.
I say this about one of our college, our college group of friends. I was like, bro, we can't just keep reminiscing on the days when we were like partying and hanging out and being like, man, those are, yo, you remember that? Laughing. It's like, nigga, how many times we gonna tell the same joke and like laugh over the same stuff? Like, bro, we're not 18 no more. Like,
or 80. We're not 80
yeah, we're not 80. It's like we're like those old men in the McDonald's that just smoke cigarettes and drink coffee all day. Like, fam, like that's not us. So why, if your friends are not trying to elevate and do more, you want to know the why I took that trip alone? A big reason, because every time I wanted to take the trip and I was inviting people, they were like, bro, I wish, but like that, and I kept waiting, and eventually I was like, yo, you know what? Forget that. I'm going to my own, and it was so much better for me for that reason, right? If your friends, if your friends are holding you back from wanting to do the things that you want to do, or they're making you feel like you're doing too much because like you're trying to elevate your life. And I do think there's people that are a little bit, you know, like they're overboard with it.
Yeah.
Right? But if you're trying to help your friends be more accountable, you want them to do better in their respective fields. Not even that they have to do the same thing as you. You're just like, bro, like you remember those BET movies, right? Where it was like all the women or all the black men or black women, they be like they're friends with other lawyers.
Oh yeah.
Or like
class.
Yeah, like girlfriends. Girlfriends, they were all lawyers, you know what I'm saying? And it was like everybody was a baller in their own way. Mm-hmm. And it was like, yo, we're all friends because we're all on the trajectory of being successful within our own ways. But we're going to hold each other accountable. So I was working, I had a class, and me and my scene partner had a scene from the movie The Brothers. And we have to watch the movies. You got to go through the script, you know, see what it's about, so on and so forth. And I noticed after watching the movie that these four friends, all had respectable careers, all very handsome, all were figuring out their relationship statuses. But when one of them was really wilding, the other ones would be like, nah, bro, you tripping. Or they would clown him or something. But it was always in progression of, we want you to be happy. We want you to be better. We want you to elevate. Not stay in the same place. Because if you become the person just staying in the same place, eventually we're going to be done with you.
I like that. They're actually pushing them to change.
Yeah.
Nobody wants you to change. If somebody that doesn't want you to change and be the same, red flag. All right.
I agree. I think it's a red flag because they feel like, I think the people who don't want you to change are the ones who feel like they don't really know where they belong yet. Yeah. Or like they had their moment and their moment was great. They had that time where it was like, yo, like we know we got friends
still
like
holding
that.
on to like those high school moments.
The glory days. You remember we won the state champ? We 35. Like, bro, you ain't done nothing since then.
Still
you ain't traveled nowhere since then.
Looking at that trophy.
Like there's moments where you were like, yo, like that was cool. Let's look back on it. That was funny. But I don't talk to anybody about what happened in high school. If anything, I'm talking to people about things from when we were kids, and how it's funny how like things we did when we were really young, those traits you see coming out, or like, man, we came a long way. What are you doing now? Mm-hmm. You know, not just reminiscing on old memories to be like, yo, like the good old days when we were out there getting it.
The way that I've been able to spark my old relationships with individuals that I grew up with is now they're starting to do things that I'm doing. For example, back in the day, it was like, yo, Mo, if you want to hang out with us, pull up to X, Y, and Z. I'm like, cool. But then I remember, I don't do X, Y, and Z anymore.
Yeah.
I don't go to X, Y, and Z. So how am I going to pull up to X, Y, and Z if that's not my scene? So the problem is that they were always at X, Y, and Z, and I just stopped going. So what does that mean? I lost touch with them because they wouldn't call me anymore to come out to those places. So they would call somebody else, and they would make new friends to go in that environment. But now they're like, well, we know that we can't invite Mo out to this, but we know that he likes to do that. He likes to podcast. Now I even got my friends that now come playing soccer with me who used to always say no. Now they're like, well, this is a way for me to see Mo and hang out with him. Let's go play soccer. He's about to go to New York to podcast with Jabril. I'll drive with him. You follow me? I'll drive with him.
Hey, he can never drive with us again, bro. That was
sorry.
Bro,
spoiler alert.
Sorry, I'm not gonna lie. I did not think we were gonna make it back that time. That was wild.
But then it's like, if you see that your friends are interested in certain things, like try to finesse it. You know what I mean? Like finesse in a way. Like you have to work to continue to be in their lives, because if you're still doing that same things that they're not doing, they're gonna eventually outgrow you, whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not, whether they say it or not. They don't even have to say it. It's just naturally gonna happen, because that's just the way that the world moves. Like my boy Omar Zion says, the world is all about energy. Energy is always moving. Right? Positive energy coming this way, negative energy coming this way. So you're never in the same spot. Either you're moving with the positive energy or you're moving with the negative energy. Right? So
yeah, man. I think that's very true. Where it's like, look, we'll be blunt about it. Not out there partying, not smoking, not drinking, not just chasing random women anymore. So like when we were younger, it was like, yo, that's cool. But now when you're a little bit older and you're like, yo, like you're kind of focused on goals, it's about maintaining relationships and building new memories. I used to say it all the time. We can't be friends if we can't travel together. We can't be friends if we can't go and do new adventures. If I can't take a hike with you, if I can't go bowling with you, you don't want to do ice skating, if everything is, nah, I'm too old for that, or nah, bro, I don't feel like doing that. Like, what, man, that's white people shit. Like, that's, like, I don't got time for that, bro. Like, I'm trying to go skiing in the Alps. You feel me? I'm trying to go to a new country and explore some stuff. And if you got friends that are so clingy onto their significant others that they
took the words right out of my mouth.
It's like you can't do anything without seeing that girl, or you can't. You want to hang out with the girls, but the husband on. Like, yo, that's weird. It's weird, bro. Like, I don't care what you say. That's weird, and I will drop you. I'll drop you. I'll say it straight like that, because it's stupid.
If they don't drop you first.
Yeah, if they don't drop you first. but the thing is, you have those friends that act like there's nothing wrong with that. I have family members that act like that when they're single and they're around. It's like, it's all great. It's cool.
They're back in the mix.
Yeah, what's up? We out here. What's good? Yeah. Potty. Yeah. Right? But then when they get hemmed up, when they get not hemmed up, they ain't go to prison.
They found a shorty.
Yeah, when shorty come back around. All of a sudden, nah, I can't chill with y'all now. Like, nah, like, fam. Or when you do, it's like she's always around, or he's always around. Because I know women that go through the same thing. Where it's like you can never see the woman without seeing the husband, or see the boyfriend without girlfriend. But it's annoying. It's like people need to learn how to be responsible within their own relationships for themselves. We're all just individuals together. That's what it is.
It's boundaries too. Like Jabril's not saying go out there like, yo, what they're doing, just things you shouldn't be doing. There's boundaries. But if the boundaries are set, why aren't you able to do those other things? Why can't I hang out with you or her? The boundaries have been set. The expectations have been set. The issue is that because nobody sets those boundaries or those expectations, things are just all over the place. And when things are all over the place, I would also be worried too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 100%. So if I have my wife, if I have a friend, if they don't know how to set boundaries, they don't know how to take care of themselves, they're not self-aware, I'm also worried. You know what I'm saying? That's just the reality of it. Yeah, so because the reason why I say all this is that because we're ummah, we're a community. In order to be that, we have to unite. It's a collective of individuals, like you said, Jabril, right? We're not all stuck together, right? We are individuals that are coming together to make something happen, just like we did when we went to New York for Eid, right?
Oh yeah.
Mashallah, it was beautiful. It was a networking event. Imagine if I went to a networking event and I said I can only talk to guys. I can't talk to any ladies.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Just imagine.
That's crazy. Because there's people that do that though.
Yeah,
I think that's wild.
My wife's here, my husband's here, and I can't talk. Bro, this is a networking event. The whole point was for us to come together and to grow the community.
Look, I'm gonna say it like the man that's told me. He said you can't grow a community. The light bulb of the community doesn't go off if you have nothing but outputs or nothing but inputs. You need the inputs and outputs to make a community spark. You need the male and you need the female in order for a community to grow and bring light to the ummah. Sheesh.
Chill out with the face. I can't do the face.
Oh man. So yeah, like I look at this past couple weeks, right? So by the time this come out, it'll be a couple weeks since the Eid. Mm-hmm. When we look at Eid al-Fitr and we look at Eid al-Adha, right? We look at it and we try and find what are the difference between the individual and the collective. Ramadan is about the individual completely. It's about your individual fight within yourself, your individual fight to get closer to Allah, your individual fight to get closer to your innocence. Whereas Eid al-Adha is a collective effort. You look at Hajj. Hajj is completely a collective effort.
Yeah.
It's the collective to show unity. And so when we're talking about our friend groups, it's the same thing. It's like if we're all on Hajj, right, and we got our what's the job?
El Mahram.
The Mahram, right? Yeah. We got our basic grown people diapers on. People gonna kill me for that. Right. All right. We shave our heads together. You know what I'm saying? We do our tawas, like we're Mawa and Safa. We're going, we're doing the tradition together.
We need each other, bro.
But then you got the one dude that wants to go backwards. It's like, fam, you undoing, our circle isn't tight no more. Because you don't want to be accountable. You don't want to, actually participate and go the same direction. You got to cut that dude loose. You got to cut him loose. Because friend groups, just like the Hajj, just like the Eid, is about a collective. It's not about the individual. That's why we do all those things. Hajj would not be Hajj if it was one person doing it.
No. An Eid prayer wouldn't have so many people.
You can't do prayer unless you have three people that are all facing the same direction, praying to the same God. It doesn't work. So this religion is very much a directory of how we should engage in our relationships.
I like that. I like that. Going back to Hajj, on the last day of Hajj is the day of Arafat, and when my wife went to Hajj, she said that was one of the hardest days because on the 10th day, everybody's exhausted. They just walked in the desert. They're thirsty. Like, people need help, especially whether it's the elderly or not. People need help with shelter. People need help for some motivation, right? People may need some stories to be told to get their mind off their feet that are bruising them and they're exhausted. You need all of that to do what? To complete the mission of Hajj, right? To make sure that we all succeed.
Yeah.
Nobody just comes in like you said, like, yo, I'm gonna do Hajj by myself. That's not how it works. So it needs to be the same way when it comes to our friend groups. It's like, we're gonna make it. And Jabril, that's why it's my man. So I love him about this. He's like, yo, if I got it, that's something. But if we all got it, if we're all doing it, then that's where the sweetness comes from. That's how you know that we're doing something right.
Yeah, it's no fun when it's just one person. Who would want to celebrate Eid alone? That's what was, we haven't gotten into it too much, and I feel like we'll do another episode where we talk specifically on the Eid Gala, shout out to our boy Ismail Saeed,
shout
aka
out
Calligraphist,
AKA.
shout out to my man's Tux and Sneakers, you already know the vibes, It was a dope event because for the first time in a while, we see young Muslims come together and being able to do something that wasn't just about, are you Muslim? It was about we're coming together with all people to celebrate this and show them that we're part of the greater fabric of society, not just this exclusive group of people, and it's like you can't be a part of this group unless you fit these yada. We get invited to people's Christmas parties all the time,
bro.
And Christmas is fun. If you're new to this podcast, I love Christmas. I don't care what y'all say. Christmas is a great time. and the fact that we're always invited and people, it's like it's the greatest time of year. It really is the greatest time of year because you'll never find a time where people are more loving and inviting.
That's why I try to get all the discounts, all the time off. But look, also
free dinners.
Another thing is that was my first time ever as a Muslim where I could be in an environment and actually network professionally.
Yeah, it didn't feel like you were at like a masjid.
Only like every time there's an event, it's either somebody wants something from me, or I'm trying to learn some fiqh, which is good, some Quran. Sometimes it's like, yo, I'm trying to meet dope people that are in my industry that can take us to the next level. We don't find that in the Muslim community. We either got to go to a college fair or some sort of, a local bar or just like whatever it is to make connections. It's like, no, we should be able to have that in-house. And we actually did that. We met some people, all walks of life, that can take us to next level, and we can do the same. So that's what I really did like.
Yeah. So in all, I think getting your circle of influence, your circle of friends, to be accountable for themselves, and us being accountable to one another in the group is of the utmost importance. And until we start doing that, our friend groups are all going to suffer. Your friend groups are going to suffer. Mm-hmm. And we have to start being able to tell the truth and not thinking, oh, they're going to be mad at me if I tell the truth. Like, if your friends are that scared of the truth, then they aren't the friends for you. As Muslims, as people that are just striving in general. Because, I had one of my best friends, my longest serving friend. Shout out to my man Jordan. You're probably listening to this right now, bro. Love you, man. Have fun out there in Italy with your beautiful wife. My man. Me and him been friends since we were 6. So you're looking at a 25 years. 29. So we were 6. So 23-year friendship. I just had to do that math here. 26 years of my life, me and him have been friends. That's crazy, bro. Wow, love you, man. Love you, bro. We were just talking, and he was like, bro, like, I love the podcast. He was like, it's not even about being Muslim. He's like, it's about just how to get through life. Mm. And it's the same thing. It's like, bro, like, yes, we love talking about Islam and the religion, but the reality is this religion was put on earth to help everybody, Muslim or not. So stop getting on your high horse like, oh, like, if you're not Muslim, then the Quran is for you. The Prophet Muhammad came for everybody. He came for every person, Muslim and non-Muslim. Mm-hmm. So that wasn't the Prophet Muhammad is regarded in secular society as one of the top I forget what category he's in, but it's like one of the best leaders known in history. Like, he's recognized by a Christian society as being one of the best leaders in the world.
Come on.
Come on now. Mm-hmm. So when we look at that, when we look at how we should go about friendships, how we should regard each other in the collective, we have to realize that what this lifestyle that we've chosen. I've taken my shahada as a born Muslim, mm-hmm. right? We've chosen this way of life. We've chosen to have to struggle to meet some of the standards that we set for ourselves and that we want to adhere to. We see the figure right here, and it's very hard to get to the pedestal that this figure is on, but we try to be better and better in the way we treat people and the way we act, the way we see our religion, right? It's difficult to do, but by doing it, we're making ourselves and our community better.
There you go. Also, if somebody's telling you the truth about yourself, embrace it. Be thankful that you have somebody that is willing to help you, because a lot of people can sit there and just watch you rot, right, over the years, because that's exactly what's going to happen. They don't care about you, and then you're not going to be able to blame them at the end of the day. You only got yourself to point the finger at. And just know that people care, like we said earlier, but to an extent. It's only a matter of time till they stop telling you the truth.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And then that is when the real problem starts. Because at that point, you don't have your brothers looking out for you. You're going to have to fend for yourself. And sometimes it's hard to see what you're doing wrong. You feel me? So it is a lot easier for somebody else to tell you, because from the outside in, you might miss a few different snapshots. So I'm grateful for individuals like, for you, Jabril, you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely grateful, because I tell Jabril all the time, like, I need a friend like that, and my wife is the same way. If I'm slipping up or something needs to be addressed, they're going to address it, because we're grown, we want to be better in life, and what better way for me to become better than other people helping me.
Then have your circle of influence around you making you better.
There you go.
The other thing, you have to want to get better. If you're one of those people that plays the victim or the villain, you have to want to stop being that person. You want to be the hero, and then at some point you want to be the guide. You want to be someone that can help someone else. But if you're always playing the victim, it takes a level of want within yourself, and even to find the want, you have to be self-aware that you have a problem.
But life is hard, bro. How am I? You call me a victim, but life is hard. A lot of bad things have happened to me. I'm just saying.
This happened to all of us. Like,
I'm saying that's how people think when it comes to like being a victim. Just like, well,
I swear,
you're able to sit here.
Am I a good friend or not? Like, yo, bro, I'm hurting. Okay.
Because you're saying that, and then I could be over here saying, well, Jabril doesn't understand. He grew up different. Like, he doesn't know what I gotta go through. You feel me? He doesn't know the things that I've been through, and like, life hasn't been easy.
Bro, I'm gonna say this. There was this one time, right, where we were chilling. I can't remember exactly when it was. You probably remember. And we were chilling. You're like, bro, bro, you're just so lucky, dog. Like you're just like you're so free, dog. You can do whatever you want. I was like, you act like I'm an American bald eagle or something. Like I just fly free. Like, bro, I got struggles too in my life. I just don't broadcast the struggles that I have because it's like, fam, all of us got problems. All of us. It doesn't matter if you're a stripper in Atlanta or a super duper cow. It's from a song, guys. I don't judge strippers in Atlanta.
Look, the reason why we looked at you like that, because it was the foreigners. We knew that your family and your culture was based off of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So we knew that like, Jabril, like, he don't pay taxes. He don't gotta listen to his parents, right? He can do whatever he wants. He can move out at the age of 18. Like, this man had it all.
He can be a rapper. He can dance. But
the more I got to know Jabril, the reality of life is that he's just like everybody else.
Bro, we're all. It's about perspective though, because if I just sit and dwell on my issues and be like, oh man, like this is so bad, like I got it so. It's like, bro, you get nowhere. It's like there's no use in any of that stuff. So. Yeah, man, you gotta be self-aware. You gotta realize that everyone has problems. You ain't the only one out here. Mm-hmm. And if you want to get anywhere, you just gotta make the decision to do better, and then figure out within yourself what do you need to do better. And your friends, if you have friends that give a damn about you, they'll help you do that. But if you don't care, why should they?
I think that was the hardest point on this track, man. You're exactly right. And because you can tell your friends like, hey, what do I need to work on? Like, give me an assessment and keep it honest with me. They gonna keep it 100 with you.
But only friends that actually give a damn will say, I know for a fact, I don't think there's maybe of our like old friends, right? The mutual friends that we have. There's only a few of them that will be able to say, think about your childhood friends. Mm-hmm. I think about my childhood friends. I think about even college friends. There's only like one or two that would be like, yo, like, I think you're doing really good, but you might be able to improve here. And they're like, yeah, thank you, I appreciate it. Like, my boy Vinny, I love Vinny, because Vinny will give it to you straight.
Yep, Vinny would.
Vinny will give it to you straight up, right? And that's because he takes the time. He called me today. I was like, yo, I got to call you on my drive home. Mm-hmm. He takes the time to be like, yo, like, how you doing? How's your family? Like, what's going on? Not a lot of people do that because they don't care to invest that time into a relationship.
Damn.
So that's what I'm saying. Good friends are few and far between. People that actually want to grow in a circle that has value are few and far between. So make sure you guys are choosing your friends wisely. You know, how they say, drink responsibly, choose responsibly.
And as you get older, we're not too old, but as you get older, good friends, great friends are so hard to come by. So if you are listening to this and you have not been a good friend or treating your friends poorly, just know that is a no-no, because those individuals are valuable.
And they're not going to stay forever.
They're not going to stay forever.
They will leave you if you continue to devalue them and not treat them as it should be. So that's all I got, bro.
Last question.
Yeah.
All right. It's going to be very controversial, but I know there's a street code. There's a street answer for this, then there's a corporate answer for this, right? Yeah. If you my mans and you don't bang with my other mans, does that mean that I need to choose a side? Does that mean that I hang out with y'all separately? Or if you my mans, you my mans?
So you're asking me what?
If I don't bang with you, no, say you and I are best friends, right? And I have another friend over here but you don't bang with my mans because you guys had an altercation, am I automatically on your side and I can no longer be friends with that individual because you tell me to?
That's childish. That's childish.
Okay.
That's childish. Me and him got an issue. We ain't got an issue. And you and him ain't got an issue.
But the street code is a little bit different.
Well, street code is...
It's malarkey.
Being frank, it's some bitch shit.
Yeah, because you ain't gonna go to jail for nobody. Street code, I'll go to jail for you. I ain't going to jail.
No, well, it's not, but that's not street though. Street is, yo, we a man, and if we got a problem, we gonna solve it. And if we can't solve it with words, then we're gonna fight. You and me have fought multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
Me win the majority of those. But like, yo, like when it came to a point where words were no longer useful, we were like, all right, let's take this outside.
So the street code isn't that, hey, because I don't bang with him, you should.
That's not street code. I think street code is.
So they got mixed up these days, huh?
Yeah, I think it's mixed up. Street code is if we don't bang with each other, we got to sit down and we figure it out.
Yeah.
And if we still can't come to it, if we still got it,
step outside.
Step outside.
We getting the one.
We're gonna handle this like men. Step outside, and we're just gonna. And we might not solve nothing, but we're gonna feel better. You feel me? So in my opinion, nah, I don't run by that. As the friend in the middle of it, though, you have to side with who's right, and then you have to tell the person who's wrong they're wrong.
You have to be wise enough to.
And you have to be wise enough to also tell both parties where they're wrong at. Just like we had a situation where one of our friends almost died, right? Almost OD'd on drugs, and that's something that we'll go into deeper on another episode.
Yeah.
But we had a friend almost OD, and the friend who was responsible for all of us coming together, I told him it was your fault. It's on you because you knew who you were bringing.
Yeah.
You knew who was going to be around each other, and you didn't let us all know as a friend. That's on you. You gotta take, and it was on us too, because we had to take responsibility for our friend that almost OD because we didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, what does that tell us? Like, yo, are we really friends if our friend had this problem and we didn't really address it, or if we saw him drinking too much and we were like, nah, bro, like he's a grown man, like you gotta know your limits. Like, fam, like who does that?
If I got a friend that's diabetic and he's my good friend, I'm gonna know he's diabetic. You know what I'm saying? He gonna tell me he's diabetic.
Addiction is a little bit different. Addiction is a little bit different because you can hide addiction extremely well, right?
Good point.
But if some friends in the group know, and they're not like, yo, like our man's is like he's here because we don't want to exclude him, but like keep an eye on him. Don't let him do anything too wild because we might wild out tonight. We don't want him to go that far.
Yeah.
Like you gotta take responsibility, and if the person who is the primary responsible party doesn't take responsibility, you got to call them out on it. Yeah. You have to. So I want to save some of this stuff in our time, man. It's a loaded question because now we're starting to go into, you know, the area of how do you know if you're really friends with somebody?
Yeah, that's a whole part. That's a whole part too. That's a
man. Now we about to do this right now. Look, I'm finding out that there's certain people who think that we're friends, but we're not really friends.
But aren't there levels to this? Like friends, acquaintances, partnerships, best friends, brothers, sisters. Aren't there levels?
Oh boy.
Yes, I think that obviously you have friends, and then you have acquaintances, then you have just like your brothers, right, or sisters. But friends come with a certain responsibility. Like if you're my friend, bro, if I was gonna chill with my man, Naeem, Beige, right? Love that dude. Hope you doing well, bro. I know he wouldn't let me do some wild stuff, and I see him once in the blue moon. I know he wouldn't let some wild stuff go down. Like if he saw me wild, he'd be like, "Yo, bro, like you good, bro?" Like,
so does that say a lot about him, or does that say a lot about your friendship with him?
That says both. That says a lot about my standard of friends. Okay. Because me and him are friends, that means that I'm only friends with straight up.
That's a level of respect there.
Exactly. That we have for each other. But if I'm with a friend and they see me wild and they're like, yo, like they don't put me in check, and they're not like, yo, like, are you good? Like, well, those aren't really friends. Because they're willing to watch me do some dumb stuff. And then be like, well, nah, you kind of just wild on your own. It's like, fam, stop me. Don't let me just, like, put me in check, something. Because at the end of the day, I might be in a position where I'm wilding like that and I need someone to put me in check.
And you know what? People might think about it. what your brother said, it may not think it's serious. Well, look at it like this. Just those few seconds where somebody decides to help you or do something can literally be life or death, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you an example. I had a friend that had passed away, you know. He had also passed for some reasons that I'm not going to disclose, but there was a point that the people that were with him could have saved his life if they acted quicker. For example, if I see my boy in the back of the car, he's tired, he's unresponsive, he's not looking good, I'm taking him to the hospital. I'm calling 911 because I care about him. Others like, don't worry about him, he's a grown man, right? He's a grown man, just let him sit back there. And you come back 30 minutes because you decided that he was a grown man, and now you have a dead grown man in your hands.
And there's this code of, yo, we don't call the police because we don't want to get in trouble. It's like, fam, when it's life or death, all that street cell goes out the window, bro. To save your life, that street cell, bro. But you know he might get hit. Like, bro, it's too late to think about that. We're at literally the last leg of this man's potential.
He might not even be here to be hemmed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, even alive.
Exactly. So it's either he's gonna be in jail or he's gonna be dead. So we can't go too much more into that situation, into any of our friends' situations, but
but I'm trying to say that that's the type of, like, that's how far it goes. That's how deep it gets when it comes to having people around you in certain situations, because they're aware. You know what I'm saying? They're aware and they understand.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, the level of friendship definitely does fluctuate, because I think as you progress in life, some people just aren't able to progress with you. And it's okay to drop I feel like your friends can go through that spectrum in regards to, they can start off as a brother, then they can be your friend and go down to an acquaintance. That happens.
Yeah.
And they can also build up. That's why people says, my day ones. But then other individuals like quality over quantity. So I can have somebody that goes from an acquaintance up to a brother real quick. You feel me? So it's not a matter of how many years have passed, how many experiences have we had, and how have you acted in those scenarios? How has your character kind of stuck out? You feel me? When things have gone tough, are you responsible? Can I count on you? If I can't do it, if I can't count on you, if I can't call you when I'm in trouble, if you can't pull up on my family, something happens, then what can I really rely on you for?
Damn.
So, if you're a friend and you felt like you fell off of somebody else's spectrum, reach out to them and figure out why. Especially if you care about the individual and you still want them in your lives, it's never too late to apologize. It's never too late to call them up. Be like, hey, look, what happened? Like, where did we go wrong in our relationship? And go back and try to talk it out. Because if you're stubborn and they're stubborn, there's no problem that's going to fix itself. It's just going to sit there, it's going to fester, and if you let something fester, it grows, it becomes ugly, and it's so much harder to walk back on that. You feel me? So,
well, look, we got to wrap up.
Yes.
Because the camera's actually getting ready to die.
Yes. Good indication.
But yeah, we would love to hear you guys' thoughts on this episode. You know, the topic of friendship and accountability, responsibility within your friends. If you want to reach out to us, Mo, how can the people link with us and tell us their thoughts?
Yes, sir. If you want to reach out to us, please shoot us a direct message or a DM on Instagram, Young and Muslim. That's YOUNG, the letter N, Muslim. And Jabril, if they want to watch these beautiful faces and listen to the podcast, how can they do that?
You can find us on the Young and Muslim podcast on YouTube. And then you can also listen everywhere: Spotify, Pandora, Apple, iTunes, SoundCloud. You can listen all those places. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Click the bell notification so you see whenever the new episodes come up. And we have a lot of dope content coming you guys' way. Is that everything?
That's about it. And also, if you are in college or going to college, we are working on a college tour. So if you're in MSA and you want us to come out and speak to the gang, hit us.
Yeah.
Shoot us an email, youngmuslimusa@gmail.com.
Yes, sir. All right. So for the last 55 minutes, you have been listening to the Young and Muslim podcast. I'm Jabril Salam.
And Muhammad Hassan.
And we leave with the greatest of peace.
Assalamu
alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Peace out.
Cool. All right, my God, we are doing this again. We are virtual, but guess what? The love.
We potting.
Yeah, we still potting. The love for the game is still there. If we still potting, we out here. Don't y'all worry about where we are located. Just know that the vibes and the energy are still very close. Ain't that right?
You know the vibes.
Yeah, we know the vibes. All right, let's go and get this started, baby. Oh. And to everyone that's listening, happy Monday, because this episode is dropping on a Monday.
It's already dropped. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, but I'm saying happy Monday to the people, though, because it's Monday. And we usually drop on Wednesdays, but it's Monday now. So
appreciate you, Islamic, motivational speaker, SQ in the house.
Monday motivation, baby. Let's get it. All right, give me the countdown, Mo.
Let's go. Happy Monday, everybody. Straight from ET. Hey, let's go, baby. We ain't the hip-hop
Bro,
preacher.
give me the countdown.
We the Muslim.
Give me the countdown, bro.
3, 2, 1.
What's going on, everybody? This is Jabril Salam.
And Muhammad Hassan.
And you are listening to the Young and Muslim Podcast.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Yes, we are back with another dope episode with my brother Jabril. How you feeling, young king?
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like I just got back from pre-Jenna. It was like I was at pre-heaven for a little bit. It's taking a little bit for me to acclimate back into regular society, but we try to get on the best way we can and know how to. But alhamdulillah, we are here, my friend. We are here. How about you, bro?
I'm doing great. I just want to hear, what are some of the pre-qualifications for pre-Jannah? Because we know what the qualifications are for actual Jannah.
The pre-qualification for pre-Jannah is you just got to pay that fee to go on the retreat with Burgundy Roots, and there you go. It's pretty easy, actually. Just don't be a broke boy, you can go. So,
talking about retreats, because I am, alhamdulillah, an avid traveler, and Jabril's on that boat as well. For some reason, a retreats for me were never desirable. All right, I think the closest thing that I went on a retreat was a cruise, and I had a really bad experience on a cruise. Right?
Because we were on that cruise. No, we were on that cruise together.
Exactly. Not because we went to a bad location.
We went to
the Bahamas. It was Nassau, beautiful. But the problem is that we were supposed to be on the boat for 3 days and on land for 2 days. But because of some complications in the weather, we ended up being on the boat for about 4 days and on land for like half a day. So we were just irritated.
Bro, the weirdest part of that whole thing was being in the shower, and because the waters will rock you in the shower, and the ship is so big, when it's rocking, it's like a delayed effect. It's like it rocks, and then you rock like a minute later. You're just like, yo. But it was cool, man. But I'm not a big fan of cruises. This retreat was immaculate. This episode's not sponsored by Burgundy Roots, but I would tell y'all this: check them out. Like Wafa, our girl Wafa, who we've had on this episode, the spiritual travel guide. Amazing job, amazing trip, amazing experience all around. And we're going to talk about that more and more and more. But I guess just to kind of go into it, Mo, we go on this trip. I was there for 9 days. Mo was there for 7 days, and it was a trip to talk about the Islamic history in Jamaica via Mustafa Briggs, our brother Mustafa Briggs, and Sacred Footsteps, who were in partnership with Burgundy Roots. Mustafa gave us to break down the history of not just Jamaica but the Caribbean, and how Islam spread there, mainly through West Africa and the West African Islamic traditions, like bedded down within these countries in the Caribbean, as well as North America. Hence why I'm here. But we went on the Soul Rebel tour. It was amazing. It was such an experience. Started off in Kingston, led into Portland, Jamaica, and then back. We went to St. Anne for a day, and then went back to Kingston before returning. And I'll tell y'all this: for anyone that is ever doubting a retreat, doubting the quality of a retreat, I will tell you this: go to Burgundy Roots and find out. They're gonna let you know. You know what I'm saying? So Mo, what was your experience, bro? Like, how'd you like being on a retreat? I know you brought your wife with you, so I know that was different. It wasn't just the homies. It was sick.
Yeah, no, it was awesome, and this is definitely going to be a biased type of opinion, because this is the first official retreat that I've been on, as well as my wife, and it was, I want to say, the best. we were in very good hands, right? Mashallah, Wafa and the Burgundy Roots team literally had everything taken care of from when we got off the plane to when we got to our hotel to every excursion, and I loved how she just mapped everything out. And my biggest joyful experience or moment was just everything that we did was with the locals. Even the resort that we stayed at was owned by a local. So when you do that, you literally stimulate the economy because all the money that you're making, that you're spending, goes straight to the people. And when it goes to the people, you see a sense of appreciation and happiness because they're just like, yo, this is, you don't know how far this is gonna go for me, you know. And we're there having a great time, but they also don't know how much they're doing for us, you know, like in regards to just experience, the gratitude. When we were on the retreat, I noticed that I was eating less than I usually do. Like I wasn't on portion control, but I
think that was for many reasons.
I was just looking and I was like, okay, I guess my plate ain't got to be full to the brim to call it breakfast. You feel me? So overall, the experience was awesome. Heartfelt. It was definitely a touching experience, and I'm so glad I got to do it with my wife, with my best friend, and with the young Muslim family, our business, our podcast, and with our friends. So I think that's what made it even better, because not only was Jamaica splendid and one of the best places on the planet and has a rich history of Islam, the people that we went with made it so much better. Bro, how can you go on a trip with 31, 32 other people and it still be good and free flowing and still getting to everything that we need to do? That is difficult. You feel me? So that's kind of my experience in a nutshell. What about you?
For me, man, so whenever I have new experiences, I always try to think of like a theme, you know what I'm saying? Like what was something that I learned from the trip that more or less kind of summed up what this experience was. And it doesn't happen all the time, but it's like, you know, when you look back on the trip, or sometimes when you're in it, for this particular theme, it was like while I was in it, we went to this guy's house and we're looking out on his deck, and we're just looking at the entire city of Kingston. We're looking at the entire city, and we're talking to him, and this is one of Wafa's friends, and me and my boy Maher we're just, you know, kind of picking his brain. This dude from New Hampshire, like, but he'd been living in Jamaica for a bit, and he said to us, he said, I've created my own reality. And for me, I was like, whoa, like, this man came to this place, created a reality for himself, for his family, and is living it out. Like, when people say I'm living the dream, he's not living the dream, he's living his own created reality. And that's very, very special, because I feel like a lot of people want that but don't know how to do it, and he was sitting there telling us he did it. So I think from that point on, that was the first day. I went early. That was the first day, or it was the second day, but it was like the first like full day that we had with the 6 people that came early. From that point on, everything that I experienced there, all the people that I experienced there, it was them creating a reality for themselves, creating a reality that they wanted to be in. And it's not like that for everybody, but I felt like in this country, that was, you know, even from the very first day, we went out to eat at this Muslim sister's restaurant. She had been living in Jamaica for 5 years and opened her own restaurant out of nothing, just because she was like, you know, I wanted to try it, so I did, and I started here. And we're like that's nuts. You know what I'm saying? Like, she literally just had an idea, she started, boom, and created her own reality. So it was like, that right there for me was a lot of inspiration to come back here and say, okay, what do I want my reality to be, and how do I make that happen? And I feel like Jamaica is such a special place that majority of people that are there, that are striving for something, at least the ones that we met, it's like they've been able to create their reality. And it's like, how do you come home and try and make that happen for yourself, you know?
1,000%. Like, when I came back, my mindset did shift, because what I wanted for life was pretty simple, and it was quality. what type of life do I want to live? And I kept telling myself that I want to live a quality life. And how did that look? One of my favorite memories of Jamaica, I felt like it was so long ago, was when we were at the guy's house, Stush in the Bush, right? Mr. Chris. He literally owns land which he aggregates and farms, so he grows his own food. He has his own medicine, has his own restaurant, has his own security. So he makes money, he eats his own food, and he takes care of his own people, right? His family. And what I loved about that is that he can scale or downsize however much he wants to. And this is the life that he built. Like Jabril said, if he wants to live in the middle of the farm and half of his house is into the bushes and the other house is like up into the skies of the trees, he literally had a patio or like a deck that was like so high up. It was incredible. But it literally was his reality, right? Or like Jabril said, it was a vision for him, and then he turned it into a reality. So when I came back to the States, I was like, yeah, I love to work hard and get after this money, but what type of life do I want to live? What does quality look like? So I'm not getting too caught up in the quantitative matters, like, you know, how much things that I can kind of amass or get. It's more like, what quality can I get from these things? So that's one thing that Jamaica definitely has helped me.
I definitely, you can't come back from a trip like that and not feel like you need to make